How to put your baby to sleep in 40 seconds is the trick that every parent in your feed is probably trying right now. And as a mom of two and a pediatric sleep consultant, I need you to hear the part that nobody is saying out loud. In this video, we're cutting through the social media noise to break down exactly what the 40-second sleep trick is, which ages it can work for, and which ages it'll straight up fail you on. But more than that, I'm going to show you why this hack isn't quite the fix that you think it is, and what to focus on instead if you want your baby to sleep long term. And you're going to want to stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why some parents swear by this and why it quietly stops working for others. Let's start with what this trick actually is, because most of the videos that you've probably seen don't actually explain the science behind it. If you haven't seen the videos, there have been several out there. The one that has really gone viral is a couple of parents who have their baby in a crib with their swaddle and have taken a tissue and just slowly rubbed it over their baby's face, very gently, a couple of times. And as they do this more and more, you see their baby start to close its eyes and fall asleep. Basically, these 40-second sleep tricks are designed to mimic their sensations in the womb through things like movement or stroking their face or some shushing or light bouncing. All of this is to try to lull the baby into a state of calm and ultimately sleep very quickly. This calming reflex also can get triggered by things like swaddling or white noise. That is why all of this stuff is so effective when we talk about baby sleep. And I'm here to say this isn't a gimmick. It does work. It does take their biology and utilize that to calm their nervous system and get them into a very relaxed state quickly. But calming the baby down and putting the baby down to sleep is not the same skill. And that distinction is really important and what I want to talk about further in this video. It's not magic and it's not a scam, but it is just one tool. And every tool has a job that it's good at and a job that it's not. Think of this trick as an emergency tool in your parenting toolkit, not as your baby's main sleep foundation. Before we go any further though, if you're not 100% sure if your baby's even tired enough to fall asleep in the first place, grab my free sleep chart linked in the description below. It shows you exactly how much sleep your baby needs by age, so you're not left guessing. Now here's where we get specific because age changes everything with this trick. This 40-second method leans hardest on newborn reflexes and instincts. Those reflexes are strongest in the first few months, but as they start to grow and your baby's brain starts to develop, those reflexes and instincts start to fade. So in 0 to 4 months, this is the sweet spot. Your baby's calming reflex is at its peak, so some quick motion, shushing, all of that can settle them very fast. 4 to 6 months, it can still work, but it loses its effectiveness as babies can start to now understand how they fall asleep and start expecting things to happen a certain way. But there is one age range that this sleep trick can quietly start to work against you. I'll get to that in a minute. If your baby is small and this trick is genuinely helping you survive the newborn haze, I want you to feel good about that. You are not doing anything wrong. Keep doing it. It is a completely valid tool for this stage. Tell me in the comments, how old is your baby and have they tried the 40-minute sleep trick? Did it work for you or did it stop working after a while? So here's the age that I promised, the one where this trick tends to fall apart. Once babies are around 5 to 6 months or older, their brains are far more aware and capable of learning patterns. At this stage, it's just not going to be effective. It is way too stimulating in the interaction between parent and child. They're likely to be out of a swaddle, so they're going to be able to move their hands and grab anything that you may be trying to help stimulate their reflexes, which have significantly dropped at this point. At this stage, sleep becomes something that they need to learn, not just something that happens to them. Older babies start to strongly associate sleep with the last thing that happened to them. So whatever that last thing was, the bounce, the shush, the hold, the feeding, if that association is always external, your baby's brain files it as, this is how I fall asleep. This is why so many parents say it worked amazing for weeks and then it just stopped. It didn't stop because you did it wrong. It stopped because your baby outgrew the trick that it was designed for. So if this is you right now, please hear me. This is not a failure on your part. Your baby didn't break the trick. They simply reached the stage where they need a different tool. My free sleep chart breaks down exactly what your baby's sleep needs and capabilities look like by age, so you know when it's time to shift strategies. Grab it for free in the description below. Now here's the part that really matters, even for the ages that this trick technically works for. Fast asleep and good sleep are not the same thing. A trick can look successful in the moment and also still be quietly working against your baby's long-term sleep. Every time your baby's sleep starts with an intense intervention, your baby's learning a pattern, not the skill of how to fall asleep. That pattern then results in frequent night wakings that need you to help them fall back asleep, as well as a baby who seems to need the trick more often, not less. This is the exact backfire moment that I talked about earlier. It usually shows up right around that 5 to 6 month mark when quick fixes stop being a bridge and start becoming the only way they know how to fall asleep. And this is exactly why the quick hack mindset can end up costing you more in the long run than the time it's actually saving. I'll show you an alternative in just a second. And that doesn't mean that this trick is bad or if you've messed anything up. It just means it was never designed to be the whole plan. It was only ever meant to be one piece of it. So here's the part I really want you to walk away with today. Long-lasting sleep doesn't come from falling asleep faster. It comes from your baby learning how to fall asleep on their own. Yes, it is a skill. Falling asleep is a skill that every baby needs to learn. And I know that might sound counterintuitive. It should be something that's just biologically built into us. But it's just a skill, like potty training or like learning how to eat with a spoon. All of these things we have to learn and teach our babies, and sleep and how to fall asleep on your own is no different. The skill is built through foundations, not shortcuts. And all those foundations come through, number one, making sure that your baby is getting the right amount of sleep that they need, that they're not over and under tired, that they've had the right amount of naps, the right amount of daytime sleep. It also comes through making sure that they're well fed and that they've moved as many calories from the nighttime to the daytime as they can safely, and that there is a predictable bedtime routine, all of the same steps in the same order that help cue their body that it's time to wind down and go to sleep. And then lastly, that they're given practice to try to do this on their own every day. This ultimately is the real time saver, because a baby who can fall asleep independently doesn't just fall asleep faster, they stay asleep longer, which means fewer 2 a.m. wake-ups for you. So this is where real change can happen, not in the magic 40-second, but in the days and weeks that it takes to build the foundation that your baby can rely on. And once that foundation is there, bedtime genuinely does get faster because your baby is doing the work with you instead of you needing to do it for them. If you want a simple done-for-you guide to age-appropriate wake windows and nap times so you can start building this foundation today, download my free sleep chart in the description below. It just makes the whole thing click. Now that you know how to lull your baby to sleep in 40 seconds, you might be wanting to learn how to set up your baby's routine and how to know when they've outgrown their routine. But how do you do that? It all starts by watching this video next, because when you pair what you've just learned with what's in this video, it makes it way more powerful.